Let's make a graph. So this is the example data table I have for you, and then the example graph. Don't use these. I made up this data, and it's not yours. So to use your data, it says create your own data table and graph below this line. Step 1, to make this graph, set up your table below the green line in a similar way as the one on the left. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either highlight my data table, which is like the easy, cheap way of doing it, Control C, and then Control V down here, or copy and paste. And then you can delete my data. And then this yellow is kind of obnoxious, so I'm going to use this paint bucket thing and say no fill. And then you have your own data table. Or you can type out a data table, and this goes for the future too. When I'm not going to be giving you these examples, you're going to have to type out your own data table. So it's really quite simple. You just use the arrow buttons to move around in Excel. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And I'm going to click up here and say sand. I'm going to do like one of those. Oh, it's giving me a copyright symbol. That's weird, but that's okay. And then you would type in your own data here. Now, when you're ready to make your graph, you would highlight just the boxes that have data and words in them, like this. I obviously need some data before I can make a good graph, so I'm going to borrow this data for now. I'm going to put it right in here. Again, I'm going to, this doesn't really matter, but I want it to look nice. Okay, I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Whoops, see I got this extra bar down here. That's not going to work. So if you get some funny graphs, make sure you're just highlighting the bars with stuff in them. Then I'm going to go to Insert. And there's all these different types of graphs up here, depending on the type of graph you think we need. Obviously, I'm showing you we need a line graph. But in the future, you know, there's bar graphs, there's pie charts, there's scatter plots, there's all kinds of different stuff. And if you're not sure, depending on your data, Excel's actually pretty good at figuring out what kind of graph you need. Pretty good, but not great. So if you click on recommended charts, like scatter plot, that doesn't make any sense. Bar graph, that doesn't make any sense because we're tracking something over time. Aha, here it is. This is the line graph that we want. So I just click on that. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your graph. It says chart title. So we could give this probably a better title. Let's see. We could call it temperature over time or something like that. And there you have it. You have your data table. You can copy and paste that into your Word document, into your science report. And then this as well. You can either do Control C, or you can right click and click on copy, and then go to your Word document, wherever that is, and paste. And it should show up there. And by the way, I did figure out how to make this so you can move it around. If you go to Layout, and then there's a symbol here that looks like this. It says wrap text, but we want it to say square, I think. Yeah, that works. We can put a bunch of spaces in here, and then you can move this around and center it and make it look pretty wherever you want it. You can also edit text in here. So there you go. That's how we make graphs in Excel. A little easier than hand drawing them, and prettier too. So any questions? Let me know. Good luck.